Hi there, neighborhood mystics, and welcome to your free weekly tarot reading for the week of February 12th through February 18th, 2017. How did it get to be the middle of February? I don't know. Okay, I've got 5 cards laid out from the Tarot Illuminati. Hold on to your hats. We've got 3 major arcana cards. So what I've got the Princess of Cups, the Alchemist or the Magician, 4 of Swords, the Star, and Temperance. So Temperance is the middle card. And the card to the left, or the card in the situation of now, is the Princess of Cups. So this card is showing a woman seated by the edge of the sea with a cup with a fish coming out of it to her. That would be her right. And the sea is to her right. The thing about this card is, for some reason, it always reminds me of Andromeda, the legend of Andromeda being chained to the rock by the sea. I don't know why, because she's not really chained here, but this card reminds me of that legend for some reason. So we'll get back to that. We're moving towards the 4 of Swords. So the 4 of Swords is saying, we want to take a break from all this. And it shows a man reclined with his eyes closed and his hands folded. A lot of times it looks like a dead person, but actually his don't, because his hands they're together and on his chest, but they're pointing up. So you couldn't do that if you were dead, because your hands would fall apart. So he's not dead. He's just resting. And he's in a church with a stained glass window with the Virgin Mary. And then the rest of the cards here, we've got water, water, water. The Princess of Cups has water. The Alchemist, interestingly enough, in this particular deck, is a picture of a magician with all the 4 elements before him, and he's looking into a book, looking like, I'm looking for a solution here. I'm looking for something. I'm looking for a spell. And then there's toward the bottom of the card, it's like there's water dividing the card, and then underneath there's all of the other world, the land of the dead kind of stuff underneath that water. So that's kind of pointing to the fact that he can dip into that pool. So there's water there, and there's water in the Temperance card, because she has 1 foot in the pond and 1 foot on land, and she's mixing water between 2 cups, or the angel, the androgynous angel, however you want to see it. And then with the star, we have the star where she's standing in the water and she's pouring water from vessels. So there's this overwhelming water theme here. So this is my crack at it. With the Princess of Cups, it's like we have this overwhelming water theme coming up that might be a little bit scary, and it might feel like, Andromeda was chained, and it wasn't really her fault. It was her mom's fault. So it's like you're being hit with a tidal wave of emotion due to circumstances beyond your control. So it's one of those things where it might be like an inherited family pattern that really, it has nothing to do with you, but you inherited it. So this family pattern, this belief system, whatever it is it's overwhelming you. Okay, because we inherit things from our family. Like, we have certain beliefs about certain things, about like certain jobs you have, certain places you can live, certain people you can marry, certain people you can be in relationship. You know what I mean? And it's we don't even realize that it's been we've just inherited it. It's not actually coming from us. And it can come from society too. So hopefully you understand what I'm talking about here. And so, okay, so we've got that. We're chained to a rock, and we're kind of overwhelmed by this incoming monster, this incoming tidal wave of group expectations and group dynamics and all this that we're just getting overwhelmed by. So at the root of this, we have the alchemist or the magician, who's working with this subconscious sea, this subconscious pool, this way of thinking and viewing the world in perspective and expectations and all of this. And he's fervently looking through this book, trying to figure out how to work with this. And then we've got Temperance, who is taking what we already have and mixing and flowing. And we've got the Star, who's pulling from this pool of inspiration and from the waters of our soul, and from admiring the universe and becoming inspired. I saw a lot of posts on Facebook about people talking about the lunar eclipse and how awesome it was. And here in San Antonio, when that moon rose, it was something. I mean, it was huge. It was huge, and it was big. It was gigantic, and it was clear, which I like. Right now, it's all cloudy and foggy. So, I mean, we get a lot of cloudy, misty. I talked about it last week, how it's been. So that, you know what I mean? So I think a lot of people were inspired by that Leo full moon, whether they saw the eclipse or not, so they got what they were supposed to get from the eclipse. They got the Leo inspiration, and hopefully you've stepped out and done something with that inspiration to inspire others. So anyway, so back to the Star. So we have that never-ending source of inspiration and of waters from your soul, and this guidance from your higher self, if you will, using your inner compass to have hope and faith and belief and wonder and all those things. And like I said, Temperance is telling you this. Temperance is always about healing. So if you need to heal something that's in those dark waters down there with the alchemist, and the alchemist it's all about transformation. It's about transforming these things. So it's like the stuff that you prefer not to look at, the stuff you don't like about yourself. It's calling for transformation. And like I said, with all this flowing water in this reading, it's about letting this this inspiration flow, and I think it's about also checking in, with your intuition at all points, because, like I said, there's this kind of the general soup we're floating in right now it's a little overwhelming. So you need to check in with yourself personally at every turn to gauge where you are and where you're going and make the adjustments. And with this Four of Swords in the position of like where we're headed to, or where we'd like to head to, and it's like we'd like to take a break. We have the Virgin Mary is in the stained glass next to the man that's lying down. And it's like his hands are actually kind of up in prayer. Like I said, he couldn't actually be dead because you wouldn't be able to keep your hands together like that. If you were dead, they would fall apart. So it's almost like he's praying, but he's laying down with his eyes closed. So, the Virgin Mary she's kind of the great mother. And it's about reception. And so that this whole idea of water flowing through is this idea about reception and being open to receive. So, maybe that's what he's praying about. He's like, praying about being open to receive. Because the alchemist at the bottom of the reading, he's an active outward yang male energy. And then so much else of this reading is about flowing water. And then we have the Virgin Mary show up in the Four of Swords. So it's about receptive energy, because the alchemist in here, he's furiously looking through this book and he can't quite figure out how to get the spell he wants or to get the result he wants, or he's looking at his notes from his experiments and going, okay, what went wrong, what went right, how can I move forward? Because he's really not able to right now, other than knowing that those realms are there and that he can tap into them. But it's like right now, it's not time for him to act. It's time to receive. That's what I want you to know. It's time to receive. It's time to receive inspiration from the universe, from your higher self, from the natural world. It's time to mix things in new ways. It's time to heal yourself. It's time to escape the overwhelm, because Andromeda is saved in the end. So if you're chained to the rock and you feel like the monster is coming to eat you, you will be saved. So don't worry about that. And like I said, just work on that quiet reception and that quiet reflection, and see what happens. See how it turns out this week. Okay, so a quick look at the astrology for this week and how it might fit this reading. We've got the Sun trine Jupiter. We've got Mercury sextile Venus. We've got the Sun sextile Saturn. And the Moon moving into Pisces. I mean, not the Moon, the Sun. The Sun moving into Pisces on Saturday. So that could account for all the water. But with this Sun trine Jupiter and Mercury sextile Venus and Sun sextile Saturn, these are all good aspects. These are nice aspects. These are not difficult aspects. So it's that once again, it's like that idea of flowing and working together and having you communicating with other people communicating with you. Everything's flowing and good. There's not a lot of hard angles and difficulty with this week ahead. So it's looking good. There's probably some other stuff, but I don't want to make this too long. So keep flowing and keep going. And then a final word, mailbag. Get your questions answered. Please send me something for the mailbag to dancingtarot@gmail.com. dancingtarot@gmail.com. These can be general questions about astrology or tarot, like what does the Temperance card mean, or how do I read for myself, or are there any bad cards in tarot? And same with astrology, like what like how do I read my natal? That's kind of a big question. How do I read my natal chart? But whatever astrological questions, astrology-based questions you have. And they can also be personal questions, because I think I'm going to start doing just little mini readings for people that I pull out of the mailbag. So send your question and your information to me at dancingtarot@gmail.com and get your question answered here on this channel. This bat channel. I'm going to start doing the mailbag. dancingtarot@gmail.com. And of course, I do readings for $20 for 20 minutes. Hail the same email, dancingtarot@gmail.com. Have a great week. See you next time. Adios.